I am Constable Gemma Orban Fletcher of the Townsville City Police Station, conducting an interview with one Mr. David Knievel on the 14th of October 2022 at 18:34 hours. Mr. Knievel, I wish to question you about the possession of an illegal substance and the unlawful use of a motor vehicle. You are under arrest for the possession of an illegal substance and the unlawful use of a motor vehicle and have been conveyed here today for the purpose of questioning about these offences. Do you understand what has occurred?
Yes.
Do you understand that you are not free to leave?
Yes.
Do you understand the nature of these charges?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Knievel. As you have identified yourself as a First Nations person, I must also inform you that a representative from a legal aid organisation has been notified that you are in custody.
Okay.
Before I ask you any questions regarding the interview, I must tell you that you have the right to remain silent. This means that you do not have to say anything or answer any question or make any statement unless you wish to do so. However, if you do say something or make any statement, it may be used later as evidence. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have the right to telephone or speak to a friend or relative to inform that person where you are and ask him or her to be present during questioning. You also have the right to telephone or speak to a lawyer of your choice to inform the lawyer where you are and to arrange or attempt to arrange for a lawyer to be present during questioning. If you want to telephone or speak to any of these people, questioning will be delayed for a reasonable amount of time for that purpose. Is there anyone you wish to telephone or speak to?
Nah. I'll wait for the lawyer to show up from legal aid.
Alright, that is your right to do so. Mr. Knievel, for the record, could you please give us your full name, address and date of birth?
David Knievel, 10 Green Street, Curwin, Queensland. I was born on the 1st of May 2000 in Victoria.
Right, and when did you move to Townsville?
About 4 years ago?
Do you live alone at 10 Green Street?
No.
Who do you live with at that address?
My mum, her boyfriend and my 2 younger sisters.
Must be hard work with 2 younger sisters. How old are your sisters?
Why do you want to know that?
Just inquiring, Mr. Knievel. Sometimes seeing the family picture is a good way to understand someone. Can you tell me what you do for work?
I'm a labourer, but at the moment I haven't got any work. Just finished up at the new stadium.
Alright, and you have identified as First Nations. Could you tell me what mob you originate from?
I'm from the Yorta Yorta mob in Echuca.
And that is down in Victoria, is that correct?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you for that background information. I will proceed with further questioning to gather relevant information regarding the offences you are being charged with. I will ask you specific details and ask the necessary questions. So I just need you to provide your account of the events related to the possession of the illegal substance and the unlawful use of a motor vehicle. I may also challenge your account based on the available evidence. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Alright, so Mr. Knievel, do you agree that I saw you earlier today at 10 Green Street, Kawan, and had a conversation with you?
Yeah.
Can you tell me in your words what that conversation was about?
You said about the car being Nikki's and how come I was driving.
And this Nikki, her full name is Nikki Bright, is that correct?
Yeah.
Excellent. And who is Nikki to you?
She's my ex-girlfriend.
And you and Nikki are no longer together, is that correct?
Yeah, we broke up a few months ago.
I'm sorry to hear that. Can you tell me where Nikki lives?
She lives on Laverick Street in Mount Louisa. Nice place, actually. Used to like going there.
And could you tell me if you own the vehicle that was at your address?
No.
And can you tell me who does own that vehicle?
It's Nikki's car.
And how did you come to have that car?
No comment.
Did Nikki give you permission to use the car?
No comment.
Did you drive the car?
No comment.
Did someone else drive the car?
No comment.
Do you have keys to the car?
No comment.
Could you tell me what kind of car Nikki has?
Like you don't know, it's a Commodore.
Thank you, Mr. Knievel. Unfortunately, not everyone knows their cars as well as you might. So this car is a Holden Commodore, is that correct?
Yeah.
And can you tell me what colour it is?
Blue.
Does it have any other distinguishing features?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, is there anything about the car that stands out when you look at it?
No. Well, it's missing a petrol cap. Seems to be a Commodore thing, that petrol cap problem.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. Would you mind explaining for me?
Like the petrol cap comes off Commodores all the time. Pretty sure there's a whole Facebook page dedicated to it or something.
That's an interesting fact. Thank you for sharing. So you said that Nikki owns the blue Holden Commodore with the missing petrol cap that we saw on your driveway this morning, correct?
Yeah, I sent that already, didn't I?
I just sometimes need to clarify information when I hear it, Mr. Knievel. Sometimes I will re-ask questions just to be sure. If I show you Exhibit 2, can you tell me if that is Nikki's car?
Might be.
Is this the car that you were seen driving in this morning?
No comment.
Can you tell me how you came in possession of the car?
No comment.
Could you tell me when you got the car?
No comment.
Could you tell me why you were in the car in question this morning?
No comment.
Mr. Knievel, you have said the car was not yours, but you were seen driving it and it was at your address. Is there anything you would like to say in relation to how the car came into your possession?
Why do you keep asking me these questions? I'm not going to answer. You guys are always picking on us.
I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean by us, Mr. Knievel.
Us, as in the mob. Indigenous, First Nations, Aboriginals, whatever you white fellas call us these days.
Okay, so Mr. Knievel, your background has nothing to do with these questions. The facts are that there was a report filed for a stolen vehicle and that you were found in the possession of that same vehicle 3 days later.
Yeah, right. Like I don't know that I'm an easy target because of this. Pretty sure you just want to get hold of your gold star and lock 'em another black man.
I am sorry that you feel this way. It is not my intention to upset you, but to find out the facts related to the case I'm investigating. So unfortunately, you are the person identified in this case and you have been found with the car.
I took the car. I needed to use it, and Nikki wasn't picking up her phone, so I just grabbed it.
Can you tell me what day this was?
Like a few days ago on the 11th.
So on the 11th of October, you took Miss Brock's car without her knowledge, is this correct?
Yeah.
And can you tell me what time that might have been?
It was early in the morning. Saw some kid out jogging when I was there too.
Thank you for that information, David. This actually matches with a witness statement that you were seen in the vicinity of the vehicle in the early hours of October 11, 2022. Can I move on to some different questions?
Go ahead. What else are you going to try and pin on me?
Well, I'm going to ask you questions regarding the possession of an illegal substance. Do you understand what this means?
Yeah, you're talking about drugs.
And if I show you Exhibit 1, can you tell me where this was found?
You pulled it out of the car.
And this car was the blue Holden Commodore that belongs to Nikki.
Yeah.
And can you tell me what this looks like to you, Mr. Knievel?
Looks like coke.
Can you explain what coke is for the record?
As if you guys don't know that is short for cocaine.
And is cocaine considered a drug?
Yes.
And is it considered illegal here?
Yes.
Thank you for clarifying that with us. Do you know about drugs because you have taken them before?
Is this going to get me in trouble? Pretty sure you guys know I've had drug charges before.
My questions won't get you into trouble. I'm just trying to understand how you know about what that substance might be.
Look, I know about drugs, okay? I've taken them before. I know what they look like. It's not a big deal.
So you are identifying this substance as a drug known as cocaine, is that correct?
Yes.
And do you know how it got in the car?
It must have fallen out of my pocket.
Are you claiming this substance as your own, Mr. Knievel?
Shit. Yeah.
So just so I have this information correct, you were saying that this substance you say is cocaine and illegal is yours and fell out of your pocket into the car.
Yes.
Thank you for clarifying that with me. How did you come to have this cocaine?
I've been buying drugs from a mate at the construction site.
Could you give me a little bit more information on that?
It's been ongoing for the last 3 years. Pretty cheap coke that he sells. It's good stuff too, you know.
And this is a friend you met while you were labouring.
Yeah.
Can you give us any more details about this friend?
I'm not falling for that.
Are you saying that you are not willing to give information about the person who sold you the drugs?
Correct.
It is your right to do so. Mr. Knievel, I'm going to double check with you the following that you have told me because I believe I have enough information to close this interview. Are you ready?
Okay.
On the 11th October in the early hours, you were seen at the address of Miss Nikki Bright around her car which is on Lavarick Street in Mount Louisa. In a witness statement to that effect, this car identified as a blue Holden Commodore with a missing petrol cap belonging to Miss Bright and was seen driving away from Lavarick Street at 0542. So far, is this correct to your knowledge?
Don't know about the time, but yeah, it was definitely early.
Thank you. So later on this day, Miss Bright would file a report for the theft of the vehicle. At 1700 hours on the 14th of October 2022, while on patrol, the vehicle in question was spotted and confirmed that it was Miss Bright's. The vehicle was followed and you, Mr. David Knievel, were seen exiting the vehicle at your address at 10 Green Street, Kawan. Is this also correct?
Yeah.
Upon inspection of the vehicle by police officers, Exhibit 1 was found in the vehicle in question and subsequently you were arrested and taken to Townsville Police Station for questioning where you have admitted that you were in possession of the vehicle without consent from the owner and possession of an illegal substance. Is this information also correct?
Yeah.
David Knievel, I will now charge you with the possession of a dangerous drug pursuant to Section 9 of the Drugs Misuse Act and the unlawful use of a motor vehicle under Section 40A of the Criminal Code. Is there anything else that you would like to say in this matter?
Nope.
Has any threat or promise been held out to you to get you to take part in this interview?
No.
Have you taken part in this interview of your own free will?
Yeah.
Were you told of your right to remain silent at the start or during the interview?
Yeah.
Have you answered the questions truthfully here today?
Yeah.
Does anyone present wish to say anything before I conclude this interview?
No.
I will now terminate this interview. I make the time 18:47 hours or 6:45 p.m. Do you agree with that time?
Yeah.
David, you will now remain in custody until you apply for or are granted bail, and I will get you to sign a statement and date it. Interview terminated.